And welcome everybody to Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host Steve Markey, and always joined by my co-host
Charles is here.
And today we got a special guest. I haven't seen him in years, and he hasn't aged a day. DJ Tony G, Tony Glover himself is in the house.
Why are you lying?
Well, I got to pump you up a little bit before we start. You know, I have all that.
Talking about I haven't aged a day. I have 10 years on God. Come on.
You only got 5 years on me. You might have 10 on Charles though. Yeah. So let's go a little bit about our history. Now we met working at the illustrious Farmer Jacks warehouse.
Yes, we did.
And we were one of the few that had brains to actually prepare ourselves for when the warehouse closed. And that's my first question to you. Didn't it seem like for 4 years we were there?
So hold on, you worked at the main warehouse, so people understand, to a major grocery chain in Michigan.
Yes, that is no longer in business.
Yeah,
No
well,
longer in business.
bought out by A&P and then still folded like a deck of cards.
Yes. It was Kroger's main competition here in Michigan, and they decided, well, they're stupid, and they closed it all, which I still don't understand. So one of the major things what I found funny, like the last 3 or 4 years we were there, is they kept telling us they're going to go out of business. They're going to go out of business. And what amused me, there were a handful of us that took it serious and started going to school and preparing for afterwards.
That's right.
But then wouldn't you say at least 90% of the guys there were like, oh, they're full of shit. It ain't going to close.
Yeah, they were like that. They really were.
There's a ton of stubborn people with every business. They don't care, right?
Yeah. You would think that with a heads up so far ahead, they would get ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But such just was not the case.
It was amazing how many full-grown men were shocked when they said, yeah, we're closing in that June or whatever it was that year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh crap, what do we do now?
Yeah. By this point, I was going to Schoolcraft for 2 years. Luigi/Steve Lindman was going.
Luigi.
He
looked just like him. He really did.
Luigi was going to aircraft mechanic school, and Tony was looking for different schools to go to too. So some of us were smart and figured out, hey, we need to find another job. While other guys just sat around, and then the day they locked the doors, they started crying. It's like,
it's true.
yeah, it's amazing.
My thing is, before it got to the point where they locked the door, I was gone.
Yes.
By that time, I was working at Cisco.
How much was the writing on before the doors closed at the warehouse? At what point was it starting to get real? I guess is what I'm trying to say. How many months ahead of time?
I'd say about 6 months ahead of time when the case counts start going down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know.
We quit working overtime.
Now, hold on. Case counts mean like when you're a picker at a warehouse,
yes.
How many cases you pull?
The amount of cases that are going out the door to stock the shelves at the stores.
Okay, and you start to see that number dwindle. You're like, something's up here, man.
Well, especially during the holidays when they started giving us like Thanksgiving night off, Christmas night off, which we never had the prior year.
They never did that before.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're getting a lot of holidays off. We're not working overtime. I'm like, wait a minute, something's up. and a lot of people, and they warned us. The union warned us. The management warned us. It's just guys didn't want to believe it for some odd reason, and a handful of us did. Went back to school or got other jobs. Mm-hmm. Tony and I both went over to Cisco. That's the other warehouse. Wow,
I got a story to tell you there about my time at Cisco as well.
Cisco's a generic warehouse that pulls for like a lot of restaurants and mom and pop grocery stores.
Red Robin, a lot of big franchises, stuff
so
like that. So
your skills at the warehouse at Farmer Jacks translates to being a picker, if you will.
Definitely. Yes, definitely. I mean, we were doing pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah, just different warehouses.
You hated it, right?
Oh, I couldn't stand it because by then I'm finishing up my degree. And I'm like, why am I doing this when I should be sitting my fat ass in front of a computer?
What year is this now?
2006.
2006 it's been. Wow.
You know, at the same time, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I can't stand doing this. my body's like, what have I ever done to you?
Yeah.
So now, you worked at Farmer Jack for how long?
It was about 5 years, 2001 to 2006. It was about the same amount.
You were pretty much in that same window.
Much in the same window.
So you worked there because our old man worked there. How did you come to work at Farmer Jack's, Tony?
Well, let's see. There was a Farmer Jack, a warehouse in Detroit near where I lived, and I found out through guys that were working there that they were hiring. I applied, I went there, and they gave me the job. I still can't believe it.
Now, the thing back then, when you got hired, you had to do part-time for like 6 months. All these millennials that want to walk in and get 50 hours.
Let me tell you, old man.
These old guys here put in their time. We were part-time. We had to call every night to see if we had to work. It was terrible. I hated it. And
there's a lot of jobs that still do that because that's how Dad at TSA, if you remember. So there's some places that do it. Yeah, they won't. There's a weird thing with Benny's. They don't want to bring you in full time because they don't
want to pay the benefits.
And that's what all these companies complain about. So anyway, I'm sorry.
So those millennials out there, you got to do your time sometimes.
do your stretch.
Do your stretch, and it sucked. But what was the story about Cisco you wanted to say?
Okay, after I left Farmer Jack, I went to Cisco, right?
A lot of you guys did, though.
Yeah, because
a bunch of you guys did.
The skill set translated, so we went over.
And a lot
Cisco.
of our managers went over there.
That's
so
true.
it was a real easy. Hey, bring Tony, bring Steve. They know what they're doing.
It was, but I was working in the freezer, and it was the.
Oh yeah, you were stuck in the freezer.
The way that we had to work, we had to just run all night, and it was just getting to me. I was like. I was telling guys, I was like, if I ever get a chance, if I ever get a chance to go back to school, I'm going to take it. A year later, they laid me off.
Yeah,
wow.
I was like, okay, cool.
So you had jumped ship before the layoffs hit Cisco.
Yes.
So then Cisco overextended itself, taking on all the F&J guys.
Exactly.
And cut all of them.
That's a bullshit move.
Josh included.
Yeah.
The same thing that happened at Farmer Jack, it was the same thing that happened at Cisco as far as the guys were like, what am I going to do? They were guys crying. They're like, how am I going to feed my family? I was happy. I was very happy.
It was life kicking you in the ass, telling you to go do something.
I already had my plan, and I was like, this is my opportunity. So I collected my unemployment, and I went to Everest.
Okay.
I studied electronics and computer technology. I graduated from there. I got my 8+ certification. I got electronic certification. And it led me to doing something that I never thought I'd be doing.
But now, you always had, Steve mentioned you're a big DJ guy. You do a lot of events. So you could fill in the blank when you started to have issues in these jobs with kind of your side gig, right?
That's true. A lot of guys didn't have that type of side thing going on,
Yeah.
So
just all eggs in one basket, and that basket was shitty.
It was sick. But I mean, that tells you something. I went back to school. How old was I? I was late 20s, early 30s. Tony went back, and what were you? Probably in your late 30s, right?
Late 30s.
So,
that's right.
That's if anything, you can always go back to school, even though people don't want to.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to when life changes, you have to change along with it. You know what I mean?
You got to scream and yell and throw a fit. And
change is constant, man.
47 different warehouses.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you reach like market.
Ourselves worked for at this point.
You reach like market saturation. Like there's only so many warehouses because like a lot of the other grocery chains, like Kroger's out of Ohio or something like that.
So their Michigan.
You couldn't even, So
and also most of the warehouse jobs, most of the unions bailed, so most of the warehouse jobs aren't even half the money that we had at Farmer Jacks.
So they're all right to work type stuff. Thank you, Governor Snyder.
$15 an hour.
Yeah, back then we were topping out at like $19 an hour for benefits.
Yeah, and that's like 13 sick days, couple weeks vacation. It was kind of nice. And the funny thing about Farmer Jacks is every year, first year, your sick days repeat. And half the warehouse will be gone for January and February.
You just see everyone disappear.
No one ever saved their sick days. I never understood that one either. Big Steve, I'm out. Like,
burning a hole in that pocket.
I wouldn't see Pettis till March.
Oh, my God.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that's tough fucking work, man.
Yes,
like a lot of people, that's a young man's game. You were way too, you know what I mean?
Well, luckily before Farmer Jacks closed, me and Tony and I, and some of the ones that hired in, we did just enough seniority to get like on high-lows and porter jobs, which are a lot less work.
So you start to like look around the warehouse, like, what's that guy doing?
Yeah. So we follow the old guys. I always say, whatever the old guys are doing, that's the job you want. And we were getting just enough seniority to do that, and then the place closed. So there you go.
You got the broom sweep for like a couple days, and that was
Tony
like,
be like, I'm a porter, this is great. They closed the doors. Exactly. Porter was the best. All you had to do was walk up down the house, pick up paper.
That's true.
So you were just like a janitor behind the
Go sleep in the break room for 2 hours before anyone caught on. So you went to school, and then now what are you doing now, as far as your career?
Okay, now check this out.
Follow him.
Always have problems explaining what I do, but check this out. I'm going to do it anyway. I work for an engineering firm that makes us monitoring technology for the semiconductor industry. Okay, let me explain that. I see that looking on
like when I think of semiconductors, like inside of sensitive electronics, kind of capacitance and all that kind of stuff?
Okay, let's take, for example, the microchips that are in like your mixer, your TV, your cell phone.
Sure.
We provide the monitoring technology for companies like Texas Instruments and LG to make a much better product. They can use our tools to monitor the process, so they can make a better chip, so they won't lose. It saves them money on their processes.
I get you. Yeah.
And let me tell you,
intense. Where's that out of? Where are you at? Like, where's
it's nestled in the wonderful town of Dexter, Michigan.
Dexter, Michigan. Where the heck is Dexter?
A small place called K-Space Associates. It's a wonderful place to work.
How many guys are in the office? Is it a pretty small team?
It's a pretty small team, but we do some pretty big things. I mean, I've been overseas installing products in Malaysia and in Vietnam.
Wow. Did you look for a warehouse gig in any of those places?
Of course.
Malaysian warehouse was hiring while you're out that way? That's cool.
Like I said, I never would have thought that going through this process would have got me to that point. And, it was really fulfilling to know that I actually took the right path. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you get there and you're like, okay, I made a couple good decisions after Farmer Jack and Cisco.
Well, when I quit Cisco and went to work via Metro, I was taking like a $3 pay cut. I was nervous as hell. Like,
sometimes you got to go backward to go forward. Yeah, it's tough.
I did that.
Yeah.
After I got out of school, I did that. I worked for a place that only paid me $9 an hour, and I was doing online tech support.
Wait, you're not Indian? What the
heck?
Okay. Now we're online. All right. So the problem is with a lot of that, like we talked about going backward to go forward stuff, a lot of old school guys like you and our dad rub heads about, you know what I mean? There's a lot of like, hey, you get a good job, you hold on to it, you do what you got to do the whole time, no matter what. And when you come up with these ideas of, hey, man, I'm going to make some stuff that monitors semiconductors, the old school generation goes, what the hell, Tony? You're gonna be a hippie? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
If they don't understand what you're doing, they just kind of shit on it. It's what the old school guys do.
They won't understand until you actually go into a place like that and see the process in action. You know what I mean?
Or you show them a paycheck.
Or W-2. Did you bring a W-2 to your parents' house? You're like, look, man, I can do this. Yeah,
we're going to keep this information on the hush.
So, like I said, the one thing you were always good at, you were a DJ. Now, are you still DJing quite a bit, or is it more laid off now?
It's more laid back now because now, as far as money is concerned, I don't have to go out and work as hard as I used to.
Oh,
you know what
man.
I mean?
Semiconductors, baby.
Oh, yeah. That's where it's at.
I don't want to derail your DJ thing, but how much in student loans are you down? That's always a conversation on the podcast.
When I went back to school, it cost me $25,000 to go back to school.
All right.
But it was
on the lower end, you know.
Yes, worth every penny.
There you go.
Yes.
It's the same as mine.
That's the thing. The thing that really tripped me out when I went back to school is when I went there were a lot of younger guys there, right? And they were chasing women. Like, dude, this is where you come to get your skill set so you can get it better, so you can get yourself set up to where even if you want to go into your own business, you can do that.
Oh, man. He's like the old guy, isn't he?
Yes. I just hated to see people coming in and just wasting time in it and exorbitant amounts of money chasing skirts. I mean, come on, what are you doing?
I went with a guy and I got my degree in computer graphics, and we graduated together. And he called me like a month later, and you know what he's doing? He was selling hot sauce. I was like, what?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Steve, I'm selling. He was a foreign guy. Oh, Steve, I'm selling. I was like, hot sauce? Seriously? All right. Well, good luck on that.
Sometimes you got to cut your own path. That's a tough one.
So hey, did you find it easier to go back to school older? Like, I found school easier the older I was.
You know what? I had fun when I went back to school.
Yeah.
Because I was studying something that I liked. and I had a strategy when I went back. I was like, I'm gonna find the biggest nerds there, and I'm gonna learn everything they know.
That's a good strategy.
So he copied a lot off the nerds.
Exactly. Nerd. Had answers down my arm,
Yeah. Did you do that homework, man?
Like, don't worry, I got you.
So, as far as DJing, is it mostly weddings, or is there other events that you end up DJing?
Oh my God, I've did so many weddings. So many.
Do you just have tux at home that you don't rent anymore? You just bought a tux to wear?
No, actually, if I need a tux, I just rent it. It just doesn't make sense to buy one because it's you wear them so infrequently. Even so, let me put it to you like this: a lot of weddings that I do, you talk about the difference between white and black weddings.
Yeah, I really want to know that.
Yeah, a lot of black weddings, we don't wear tuxes. No.
Oh, really? Wow, that's surprising.
A little more informal, I guess.
You of course you're gonna dress nice and everything, but nobody expects you to wear a tux at a black wedding. Oh no.
Oh.
A lot of the traditional things that you do at a wedding reception don't happen at a black wedding reception.
Oh, really?
A lot of times because the people the wedding started late, so the bridal party is coming in late. You know what I mean?
I believe he's referring to what's called CP time. I believe that's the term.
He's trying to be politically correct.
I've heard this term bandied about. I don't personally know anything about it, but yes.
Well, I've lived it.
Yeah. So, what's your number one hated song that you got to play at all these stupid weddings all the time?
Oh my God, I don't have a song that I truly hate because anything I truly hate, I just don't play.
There you go. I didn't bring that
is
one.
Is it the chicken dance? Is it the chicken dance?
No, it's the hustle, man. He's doing.
I love the chicken dance. Man. Come on, look, anything that's gonna make a DJ's life easier, you're gonna have on rotation.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
So the ones where everyone gets up and dances along to the thing is your favorite.
You want the songs that everybody likes, everybody that can relate to. You know what I mean?
And you can just kind of check out and like let them do whatever.
Exactly. You go down your playlist. You play those traditional songs and just let everybody have fun. You have to know how to read a crowd when it comes to music, though. You know what I mean? Because certain people like certain type of music. Of course, you're not going to be at a wedding reception playing a bunch of gangster rap. You know what I mean?
Be a cool ass wedding.
Spin trade one more time.
It'll be a short one because the bride and groom be like,
So what's the biggest screw up at a wedding that you've witnessed? Like, for example, they announced my mom at my wedding, and it was like, it's kind of a weird thing, you know.
The biggest screw up that I ever witnessed at a wedding, at a wedding reception, I should say, was matter of fact, it was, I don't mean to be out of line, but this was a white wedding.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the mother of the bride got drunk and tried to fight the bride's best friend.
Well, like
at the
fisticuffs
reception.
and got real.
Fisticuffs.
Wow.
Dude, I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden a big cat fight just broke out. I'm like, oh.
Did you needle scratch it? Be honest. Were you like,
No, actually, when it started off, like, once it started, I started packing up. Yeah.
You knew it was gonna be.
I don't need you. I got like $4,000 or $5,000 worth of DJ equipment. I don't need you tearing it up.
Yeah.
Once that
Some
happens,
idiot comes barreling
the
into
party
here.
is over. As far as I'm concerned, that's in my contract.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
There you go.
Wow. So, what kind of one thing I have trouble doing is staying up on new music. And you're 48, I'm 43. The only reason I stay up on some of it is because my 14-year-old daughter. How do you stay up on some of the new music that you need to stay on for being a DJ?
Okay, there are online DJ pools that you can use, like BPM Supreme. The one I'm registered with is mymp3pool.com. You go on there and they literally update every week. So you have all the latest stuff. You pay like $20-$25 a month.
Oh, it's subscription based, so you're just downloading this crap. You're not having to purchase anything
you need. That's right.
Oh,
that's how you do
that's
it.
Real smart.
Don't even have to stay up top on anything.
And let me tell you, as far as the new music, as far as the mumble rap is concerned, I hate it.
You don't like Post Malone? I'm a rock star. You don't like that?
What in the hell are you?
But it's cool. It's not old school DJing where you're bringing like milk crates full of records and you're basically laptop and
that's how
right?
I start. That's how I started. As a matter of fact, I got a story about that. I was DJing at a place on the east side, and it was me and a partner of mine, and it was back when I had my 1200s, 6 crates of records and whatnot. Wow. So we get done. We're doing it with another guy. He's been another guy. He's been on the radio. Guy by the name of DJ Bass.
Okay.
He's been on I think 105.9 or something like that. And so he shows up, and all he has is a laptop, and his
like, where's your 6 crates at, man?
Now it was cool, and I checked it out while he was playing and everything, and it was cool. But what really changed me to the digital DJing is when the night was over and it was time to pack everything up, and we're there struggling with 6 crates of records and everything else, and he just click, see you later.
10 minutes, he was out.
Exactly. That changed the game for me forever.
So what is the laptop of choice that you're using for DJing?
I'm using a Dell Inspiron, believe it or not.
Not a Mac?
A lot of people use a Mac. I'm just cheap as hell, I guess.
Got it on sale Black Friday at Best Buy.
Yeah. And you bring your own speakers and all that?
Yes, I have a powered system. How much are the speakers?
Just in general, what you said about $5,000 in equipment, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. I use a Newmark NS7, brand new NS7. It costs you at least $1,500.
Yeah.
Wow. DJ equipment is really, really expensive. The last time I outfitted my whole outfit with new speakers, amplifiers, the whole hookup, cost me about $5,000.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And now, how many gigs is it taking for you to recoup that?
Oh, back when I did that, I was actually running a DJ business out of the house, so it took me about a year or two to recoup.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's some investment right there.
But you know what? If it's what you like to do, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because once you're there and you're in the groove and everybody's having a good time, is nothing like it. Because then you turn around, you go there. You eat for free, you drink for free, you party like hell, and you get paid to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not that bad a gig.
That's a lot of mastacholi, though.
Bring it on.
Dry baked chicken all over the. What are some of the weirder events you've had to DJ?
I was affiliated with a couple of rap groups back in the day, and one of the weirdest places I ever played. We were doing a promo for an event. Was a rap group and I was set up inside of I never forget it. I was deep southwest side. I was set up in a Save-A-Lot supermarket playing.
Nice.
A Save-A-Lot supermarket.
What aisle were you in, like a macaroni or
dry goods?
I was by the bagging section.
Just at the front of the store?
Oh, and the clerks were digging it. They were like, oh, yeah.
That must have been a weird day.
Yeah, what the hell?
It was a weird day because when I asked the guy, I was like, well, where am I playing at? He was like, at Save-A-Lot. Like, Save-A-Lot. So we're going to be outside Save-A-Lot. Okay, cool. No, we're going to be inside. Seriously.
Wow.
But that's not the strangest place I played.
Okay.
The strangest place I played was for what's that after the funeral?
The wake?
I actually played one of those.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that one.
Me out.
I'll be honest.
What kind of music do you play at that one?
What do
you
you
want to get together for the chicken dance?
What?
I was playing. No, I don't even remember what type of music I was playing. I was
a lot of Luther Vandross.
Yes.
I mean,
but
some depressing stuff.
But by far, the strangest.
Man, it's getting worse
than a funeral.
Oh yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. This was stranger than a funeral. The strangest gig I ever played was in Sterling Heights at a church on New Year's Eve.
What?
And, yes. And they had a full spread of food and a full spread of liquor.
At a church.
Inside the church. It's like, what?
What kind of church was it? Catholic, Baptist?
I'm guessing
Episcopalian?
I'm guessing it was a Baptist church.
Satanism?
But I was like, oh my God.
So there you go. A save-a-lot, a funeral. It sounds like I'm a joke.
You want to be a DJ.
Yeah. Well,
This is what happens when you've been in the game for a while.
So my question, so I worked with a guy who was way into mixing beats and is that your thing too? Because he was obsessed with it. It was unbelievable. I've never. Do you produce guys? Or you just purely spin records at somewhat joyous occasions and minus the?
I've produced tracks. I've still got my setup at home right now. My N7 is still set up, and I still get in there and blend and mix and whatnot.
That's crazy.
You know?
Because he did all night. He worked with me. I mean, all night long. It's all he did.
Well, yeah. When you're into it, oh man, you can get lost in it.
Yeah,
you really can. When you're really feeling it, especially if you're recording and you're really feeling it, you can bust it out for like 3 or 4 hours. Just keep on going.
It's crazy. Just music obsessed people, man.
Hey, it's what we do.
So yeah, like I said, I went to the wedding, Steve Linman's wedding, and Tony was the DJ, and it was a nice wedding. And it was a bunch of us derelicts from Farmer Jacks there.
Yes,
but like I said, his wife's dress, right? I mean, she
was,
had no shoulders, no nothing, and just barely like little cup things over the nips. And that's
was she healthy up front?
Yes.
Yeah, she was pretty healthy up front.
But she was a little chunky lady. It was, but that wasn't the most awkward thing. You remember the daddy-daughter dance?
Vaguely.
I'll never forget because it's burned in my brain.
I was working at the time, so I didn't pay too much
he goes the daddy-daughter. Steve, sorry if you're listening. I just gotta say,
Steve, we still love you, man.
Yeah, man. It was just an awkward dance. She put her head like on her because she's short and her dad's a tall guy.
Yeah,
so she's 5'2", he's probably 6'4", and like she just like wrapped her arms around him and like. It's almost like, a husband and wife would do, and just hugged so tight to him, and he was so tight to her, and they just barely moved in the middle of this dance. And meanwhile, half her boobs are hanging out. It was the most awkward daddy-daughter dance.
So Steve was like, "They're getting way too friendly."
Yeah, it was. Even Michelle was like, "That seems a little weird there," but it was a nice time. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was a great time. Completely awkward, but
they had
awkward dance, and
they had a Disney theme.
Yes.
And
they're still obsessed with the Disney stuff.
Yeah, he moved to Orlando?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he's in Orlando now.
Yeah, he's still working in the aircraft industry, isn't he?
If Disney World had an airport, he would work at the Disney World airport. That's where he would. Yeah,
well, if he's ever on town, he's allowed to come on here and talk with us and defend his wife's boobs.
Yeah, he probably acknowledged it. I mean, she had, and his brother had a date at the time. And she was wearing this yellow dress. He knows what I'm talking about. It was unzipped all the way to the top of her butt crack in the back of this thing. It was the most. It was like
she was ready for action.
Yes, it was a very easy access. Another one. Michelle's like, my God. So there was some fun times at that wedding.
Where did they find these people?
So do you have any upcoming gigs you want to promote? Here's your chance to tell it to all.
Actually, no. The thing is now. I do a lot of family and friends things. You know what I mean?
Word of mouth type stuff.
Word of mouth.
Hey, Tony does that. Hit him up and he'll let you know.
If you need me, hit me up.
That's right. Yeah.
But you better be ready to pay because I'm not coming cheap.
He's got that semiconductor gig, man.
Exactly. Now you either pay like you need to pay, or it's just not going to happen because I'm not going to waste my time doing cheapy events. I'm just not going to do it.
I don't blame you one bit. Know how many websites I get offered if I do $100?
Exactly.
Hey, $100 you do it? No.
What can you do with $100?
Yeah, how many people ask you to come fix their water?
I tell them all the time, no, I don't do side work. Tell them that all the time.
But now, I've been DJing a long, long time, and now I'm kind of segueing into something else, which is what you mentioned when you text me. I'm into retro gaming now.
Oh man.
Okay.
Welcome to the rest of us.
So are we playing a lot of like the console? Like, are we buying old school stuff and playing it? Or are we buying like the new re-release stuff? How are you consuming the retro stuff?
I am buying the 6-foot upright arcade games.
Oh, jeez.
I literally have like 10 or 12 in my garage right now.
Wow. What kind of titles are we talking?
We're talking Starcade, Millipede, Centipede, that type of thing.
Wow. You doing all the work yourself to bring them back up with CRTs and everything like that?
Yes.
And
matter of fact,
watch those caps, man. They'll shoot you across the room.
Oh, man. I just got a Millipede, and I had to swap out the monitor. And when I put the monitor in, the picture was upside down and backwards.
Oh.
So I had to fiddle with the horizontal and vertical coils in order to get it to go right. So I know that eventually I'm going to need a cap kit, but I'm not going to do it. Oof. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the CRT to VGA converter and just use a flat screen monitor. Why put up with the nonsense?
The purists are going to hunt you down and stab you in the eye.
Okay, my address is 33.
Purists, man, they love that. They love the flicker of the CRT. It's a whole thing, man.
Yeah,
I am definitely not a purist, but I do.
It's a cool hobby.
I do love the old retro games. As a matter of fact, I took I took one cabinet and I turned it into a virtual pinball cabinet. It runs Pinball FX2.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
I don't like the screen pinball. So I have a big time bug for like stand up arcade stuff and
really.
I fought. One of these days, there's going to be a full-fledged pinball machine in this house. I just know it.
You would have loved the Chicago Pinball Expo.
That's what I forgot to put it on the list. But yeah, how was that?
You would have loved it. I mean, they have so many new games coming out now. It was just...
Well, Stern's still making machines, right?
Stern's still making.
Chicago is like the epicenter of all things pinball.
Because now you got companies like Jersey Jack Pinball and American Pinball, and they are coming out with some amazing titles. Jersey Jack has a pinball machine I would really love to buy, but it's really expensive. It's called The Hobbit. That pinball machine is beautiful.
Based on the movie license?
Based on the movie. And the way they set it up is so nice. The back glass has a 27-inch LCD screen in it instead of a DMD, the color DMD display. Yeah. So the way they have it set up, it is absolutely, it's a knockout. It really is. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh my God. Until I see that price tag, it's like $7,000.
Yeah, easily. Yes. For those new ones, the Stern ones are ridiculous.
Pinball machines are ridiculously expensive.
But you can get a decent old school one for a couple G's for about $1,500, $2,000.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You got to do a lot of work on them, and there's a lot of maintenance to them too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of upkeep, and it's much different from like in a stand-up arcade game. Because with a stand-up arcade game, you got solid-state electronics. We're talking in the pinball machines, you got high voltage coils and stuff like that. You also
got rubbers that wear out, slides that wear out. It's crazy. It's a whole different animal.
So how much did they charge you to get into the Chicago Expo?
The admission for the day was $30.
It's in a hotel, I want to say, out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's in the Westin.
Yeah.
The North Shore Westin.
He works for the Westin in Detroit, the airport.
Oh, you probably would have got it from a room for free.
I could have got it for like a song, but I love pinball.
We've been to the one. Have you been to one they had out here?
There was one at Oakland University.
I have not been to that one.
It started out strong. There's a lot of Jersey Jack stuff. There's a lot of Stern will debut a lot of games out there too and stuff like that. Like we were there for the GNR one, the AC/DC one they brought out there. They've had a couple of the Hobbit ones, but not the one you're describing. I didn't know Jersey Jack made a Hobbit one. That's news to me. So yeah, we can have a long conversation.
They had it sitting right next to the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz one's sweet.
Oh, yes, it is. It's set up like the Wizard of Oz.
Way too much about pinball.
It's really fun. I'm sorry.
If you were to go to these conventions and see the type of things that are coming out now, it would blow your mind. It really would. I mean, the things that they're coming out with is they're beautiful. They really are.
But to his point, there's 7 Gs, and you can get collector's edition ones that ramp it up another $2 more grand. It's crazy.
Yes,
it's a crazy hobby. That's way beyond me.
It's a ridiculously expensive hobby.
Yeah. I think I'm more akin to you, getting one that needs some work and putting the work into it is what I would
say.
do.
For example, the Millipede that I just got. I paid $20-$50 for the millipede.
Perfect. You Craigslist that? Where'd you find that at?
I found it on Craigslist, as a matter of fact.
I tell you what.
I'm telling you, we have a whole conversation on that.
If you get the stand-up arcade of WrestleFest, I'll never leave your house. Because I love that game. WrestleFest. Old school WWF.
All right, people, you hear that. If you see a WrestleFest, give me a call.
Yeah, I'll be at your house every day.
It's great.
Tony be coming home from work. You're here again? Yeah, sorry. I never left. Loved WrestleFest. Old school. So, grab the, we're going to try a little taste test today. Now, there's a little bit of backstory behind this. We were actually looking for, what is it called? For the Conor
We're looking
McGregor.
for Proper 12 Irish whiskey.
That's the Conor McGregor whiskey.
Proper 12.
Our friend in Chicago did find it. He'll be in here probably right after Thanksgiving, so we'll be trying that then.
Really?
But in the meantime, Tony, we got a special treat for you.
Uh-oh.
The George Clooney tequila. What is it called, Charles?
So this is Casamigos tequila.
Casamigos.
So
Wow,
I believe
bigger
it's
than a shot. I don't know. Let me show the bottle. For the
yeah. So
Wow, it's very
well, it
clear.
was owned past tense. This is a Blanco version of that Casamigos tequila that was owned by George Clooney and Randy What's His Nuts that was married to Cindy Crawford.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I hate tequila. Just so
Really?
we're on the same page. I don't
your
like
medicine.
that agave taste. I just find it repulsive. I'm a rum guy. I think rum actually tastes good. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a child. I don't know, but we're going to give this a shot. Steve will pick this
That
up.
smells like
Morgan.
paint in it, man. Oof.
Smells like tequila. And this is the
yeah.
Blanco version, not the Reposado.
All right, prosit.
And God, is it gross.
It's like drinking gasoline.
Steve did his whole work.
Oh, I feel like a dragon right now. Like I can spit fire. That'll wake you up.
So I've had Jose Cuervo. I've had
We need some lime and salt.
Don Julio.
My chest is burning
And this
right
is
now.
clean. Like it tastes cleaner than the other ones. I guess if you're a tequila person, I'd say
Right.
it's not bad.
Right.
I just that agave taste, man. Oof.
Well, what'd you think of it?
I thought, it is pretty clean, but the alcohol is really strong. You know how when you drink a shot of alcohol
My
and it
chest is
just
on fire.
burns going all the way down?
Yes. Yeah, that's what this was.
This is like drinking lava.
And it's only 80 proof. It's
Smooth.
It's 80% or 80 proof of fire. I'll tell you that much.
Michelle wants to try it. I'm going to take it home to Michelle. Let her
Yeah,
try
please
it.
get it out of my house because it's disgusting.
Well, now you know why George Clooney got $250 million
Yeah.
for that tequila. Now
Well,
we
you know
get
what?
curiosity.
Hats off to him. If he got a nice payday out of it, then God bless him.
Hey, cheers.
That little bottle we bought was $23, so it's
And that's a
Seriously.
$375. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even a full
That bottle was $23.
yes. The normal size bottle was $50. So
Well, you know why the prices are like that, don't you?
because of his name on it.
It could be because his name
Of
is on
course.
it. That's
That's
what
the only
pays
reason we
that
bought it.
$250 million.
So I'm a rum guy. What hard liquor do you prefer? I guess
Cinnamon whiskey.
is Fireball.
Ooh,
You're
nice.
like a
Nice.
sorority,
I'm
like
like
a
a
fraternity.
It goes down.
How
Nice.
about you, Tony?
I like Fireball, but I got a friend of mine that turned me on to something that I really like. And Andrew, this one is for you. We're talking Maker's Mark. Oh, that's
Why are you doing that?
Dude, it tastes like cough syrup, man. I'm
The only
just
thing that tastes
not
like
a...
cough syrup and licorice to me is Jaeger. I can't drink a lot of
But
Jaeger.
I tell you what, though, if you drink a glass of Maker's Mark, it doesn't burn at all going down. It's really,
Really? Because my chest is
smooth.
still on fire. Right now.
There's
Sometimes
no
I
burn
shouldn't-
when it comes to Maker's
I
Mark.
shouldn't have gunned that tequila. I'm just saying. Probably not a wise decision on my part.
That's and again, in the world of tequila, if I'm drinking the three that I've tried, I would say this is a good tequila. It's just not my thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Couple of cubes of ice and it's not bad.
You put some ice in this?
I put a couple of cubes of ice.
Probably throw it on the ground.
Online, the reviews for this are very high, actually. They like this a lot.
They
a lot
like
of people,
this a lot.
A lot of people review it high. The one that doesn't is the Conor McGregor whiskey. A lot of people
we're
like,
doing that in
they're
studio,
like,
baby.
It's garbage juice. People hate it.
Proper 12. A proper Irishman.
I have a feeling it's
dare
going to be terrible, but we'll find out.
This
so there
is
you go,
awful.
people. Some George
Casamigos fire.
Casamigos tequila. It was all right. Put my chest and my stomach on fire.
And again, that's a Blanco, not the Reposado, not the yellow one.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, they did have the yellow. You could have got the clear or the dark. I went with
You got to
clear.
get your terms down. Reposado or Blanco.
Oh, sorry. Clear or dark.
There's some alcoholic shaking his fist at his headphones right now.
Right now, Brandon's like, God, Steve. That's our little
this burns like 5 o'clock gin.
I'm growing hair on my chest right now. It is rough.
Right, bottoms up, people.
So there you go. You can wash it down with some Diet Coke.
It's got a pretty bottle, I'll tell you that. It looks nice. It's also got George Clooney's Hancock on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can sell this for... I don't know if that's mass-produced.
I
don't think he's signing every bottle.
That bottle does look like one of the ones you find in the water with a note in it.
Yeah, it's a fancy bottle. Let me take a look at that bottle.
All right, let's see.
So now that we've all burnt the hole through our chests and all the way down to our wieners, let's move on to some reviews and some thoughts on some local TV and movies and stuff like that. And the first up on our list I watched this week was Daredevil Season 3 on Netflix. Tony, you familiar with Netflix? Are you familiar with
I am familiar with Netflix.
Are you familiar with superhero shows on Netflix?
I am familiar with some.
Yeah. Well, you only be if you want any of them, just watch Daredevil. The rest all suck. Charles is in pain.
Yeah, I watched Iron Fist and I just said I can't finish this.
You watched the worst one. That one got canceled. It was so bad. Daredevil Season 3 is great. It's a return to form. The second season was iffy. The problem with these Marvel shows, they're 13 episodes, and usually 2 or 3 are filler episodes. This one, only 1 episode was a filler episode. The rest went along with the season. Kingpin is the best villain in the Marvel universe right now. Are you okay from drinking that tequila?
That is fiery, folks. I am a lightweight, and that is kicking my ass. Just so we're on the same page.
If Charles takes a nap halfway through this podcast, you know why. Big thumbs up to me. Season 3 was great. Kingpin was the villain. Bullseye was mixed in there. That's another villain. Kingpin in the Marvel universe is what I always wanted Lex Luthor to be. In the DC universe, where he's kind of a behind-the-scenes manipulating kind of bad guy instead of the goofy Gene Hackman Lex Luthor. But they never did that in DC, and that's probably why they don't get it. But big thumbs up. You get a chance, watch Daredevil. It's a return to form.
My usual questions as I cut you off here. Yeah. Does it look good in 4K?
Yes.
What kind of audio does it got? Has it got a nice 5.1? Has it got a nice mix and everything?
Yeah, it's all top of the line.
Good production value,
yes,
I guess.
Good acting.
Is it true?
Visuals.
Is it true to the comic?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Kingpin especially. Daredevil, Bullseye, they might have took a couple liberties on, but I'm not too familiar with Bullseye's past. So in this one, he's an FBI agent that's a little bit of psycho. So and Kingpin flips him to help him. So really good. Thumbs up. I don't want to dwell on it too much because I know Charles isn't a huge superhero fan.
But a lot of people love it. I know when it came back, a lot of people were all about it.
Out of the 5 Marvel shows on Netflix, well, now down to 3, Daredevil's the only one worth watching. And if I could suggest, watch Season 1 and Season 3. Season 2 is good, but like 6 episodes was about the Punisher, which was really good, and then the other 6 was about Elektra and the Hand and all this mystical stuff, and it kind of sucked.
So, if you were to give what's your top 3 TV shows based on comic books right now? What do you got? And don't include like The Walking Dead. I'm talking about like a superhero show.
Superhero shows, hand down. If you're gonna watch some, Daredevil, all 3 seasons. Punisher, which is also on Netflix, the first season. Arrow, that was on CW for 3 seasons. Then
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically Arrow when it first started was like Batman. It was just like Batman. It was very violent. It was really good. Probably about 3-4 seasons. Then they just, that's season 7.
Is it gone now, or is it still? It's still on
CW.
CW. Yeah. Did it kind of fall into the CW trappings of like just a teen drama or something like that? Or
a little bit. A little bit of it did. He had a younger sister that was there for that, but the first couple seasons of Arrow is really good. Actually, I highly suggest those. I would stay away from Legends of Tomorrow. That was kind of poopy. I wasn't a big fan. A little more slapstick than the others. I didn't like Jessica Jones at all. Didn't like Iron Fist at all. And Luke Cage was okay. Luke Cage.
I liked Luke Cage. I watched season 1. I binge watched season 1 of Luke Cage, and I did like that. Yeah. I haven't checked out season 2 as of yet, but
season 2 is pretty good too. The only thing I didn't like about season 1 is when that guy came in where they switched bad guys halfway through the season.
Oh yeah,
and that guy had that stupid green helmet. And it was just terrible.
Do you guys watch Black Lightning at all? Isn't that a CW show?
I've watched Black Lightning. I found it it was okay. To me, it was kind of corny.
Isn't it like like that Shaq character that was in? Isn't it like the cheesiest comic book?
What was it? Steel?
Yeah.
I don't know what Black Lightning is, to be honest with you. I've collected comics my whole life. And I think it has something to do with Static Shock. Remember that cartoon back in the day? I remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
It's his father, so it's based on his father.
Yeah, my thing is I watched it and it was decent. Of course, a couple of hot chicks running around. Of course, you're gonna watch it. Come on now. But the thing is, I found the writing to be kind of you know what I mean. It really didn't hold my interest too much. Yeah.
So there you go, Daredevil. Check it out if you get a chance. Now you wanted to ask me about the WWE.
Yeah, so I saw and here I brought it up in reviews because
wait, this is gonna be good. I can tell.
Yeah, so for weeks I had to listen to you go on and on about WWE. So WWE 2K19 came out. It's got AJ Styles, Chip Gaines on the cover of it. Nice. Yet we have not discussed it here on the podcast. Do you avoid the WWE video games?
What?
Well, I have a trick.
Okay.
WWE video games are a lot like Madden, where they come out every year.
They're very iterative.
If you wait till March or April, that same game's $20. So I don't buy it.
You just wait till football season's over.
Football season's over. I'm bored. WrestleMania's about to come on. I'll go get the wrestling game.
Oh my God! So meanwhile, our listenership is waiting for your review.
I know all about it. I know the problem with those games are, and I know you don't like the controls, but you'll get into the controls as you play it. Those games are a grind. So it means like you want to be a career. You make your Charles the Mangler wrestler.
Okay.
And it makes you wrestle like thousands of matches just to get up to like
a marquee event.
Yeah, to an intercontinental match. So you're bored out of your skull wrestling like Steve Lombardi for the 19th time, and you're in a feud with some wrestler.
You got to pay your dues. Then you just yell at millennials about the
not video games. Video games are a break from reality. You don't have to pay your dues in video games. So that's why I don't run out and get those. They have a ton of wrestlers in them now. There's like 100-something wrestlers. Basically everybody but Hulk Hogan because he's a racist. They won't put him in.
I thought they were getting back to the Hulk.
Eventually. They're still letting that simmer. They're letting it simmer.
Thanks a lot, Hulk.
I know. So there is no Hollywood Hogan. But just about every other wrestler. And that's the other thing they do. They take about 15 wrestlers that they could put on the roster, and they hold them back and make them DLC. That's the other thing, too. So like
nickel and dime you a little bit.
Yeah, so if you wait till the spring, you'll get all of it for like $25.
Hey, listen, Terry might need the little residuals.
Yeah, that's true. Rhino needs the money. Yeah. But he's not on the cover, so we're not going to worry about that.
Yeah, Chip Gaines is on the cover of that.
If Rhino makes a cover of WWE 2K22 or whatever, I will buy it. But up until then, if you're a diehard wrestling fan, but
you're saying the trick is to wait.
Yeah. And then if you go online, it's not fun because everyone just spams the same move over and over and over again. So whatever move's unstoppable for that particular game, like one year it was the running dive where you spear them. Like you go online, that's all you do is spear for 35 minutes. I think this is a lot of fun. It's a hell of a match to watch.
Welcome to fighting games.
Yeah. So 2K19, Steve's video game advice: wait till the spring, you'll get it cheaper. So there you go. So now we talked about some movies last week. You did see A Star Is Born.
Yeah, I saw. So my wife and I.
You saw it willingly?
Yeah, I look great. I'm sorry.
Willingly.
Dude, it looked great, and it was great. Really? I'm telling you.
Side note, every time I drink, I get super hot. That little tequila,
dude,
my temperature went up like 10 degrees.
It is,
anyways.
I'm still burning over here.
All right, so tell me about this A Star Is
Born.
I haven't seen it.
It's a Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper remake that apparently this movie's been made like 15 times or something.
Chris Christopherson was in the last one.
And you've heard a lot of hype about it. I'm here to tell you, it is up to the hype. It is awesome. It is 2 hours and 15 minutes. Steve won't like it because there's no explosions and no army.
Sounds like me.
So you guys are out.
I watch an occasional
If you enjoy good acting, like stuff that felt like you're watching someone's life unfold in front of you, it is that good. It is awesome. 2 hours and 15 of a great. And they make Lady Gaga look attractive to me. Wow. I'll be honest with you. She is a looker in this movie. She doesn't wear a meat dress or anything kooky. And she's insanely talented. Like you don't.
Yeah, she's always has.
Oh my God. You realize this chick can sing
she was a graduate of Juilliard or something?
She must have been, man. She's rocking piano. She's singing. And I mean, this is a movie, but you felt like kind of into it or whatever. Man, that girl's talented. Bradley Cooper is amazing.
How was his singing?
It was like country music, which is what he was playing, like kind of a an older school, still popular in like a portion of his prime.
Okay.
country singer.
Like
and
Blake
the best
Shelton?
part was, so like Sam Elliott plays the Bradley Cooper's character's brother. And like Bradley Cooper, the whole time you're watching it, you're like, he's doing like a Sam Elliott voice. They address that. They basically tell like, so like the brother goes, "You stole my voice." You know what I mean? Sam Elliott's like, it's a fantastic movie.
How's
And
Dave Chappelle in it?
Dave Chappelle's great, super nuanced.
Dave Chappelle's in this?
Yeah, Dave Chappelle plays like a best friend of his, like in I want to say Nashville or something when they're out that way.
Nice.
And it's just it is a great movie, man. It should sweep a ton of awards. Wow. It is fantastic. I know that we often rail against how Hollywood is kind of bankrupt for ideas, and we're remaking. This one is awesome. I'm sorry. That's a great movie, and all you people are going to go see it and hate it and call me a wuss for enjoying it, but I loved it. I'm sorry.
I got the same kind of blowback when I gave good ratings for, what was that movie? Mr. McCorium's Wonder Emporium.
Is that with
Dustin Hoffman
yeah.
and Natalie Portman?
That's on cable.
Wonderful movie. I love that movie.
Wow.
It's like a modern day Willy Wonka. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
But
I love Willy Wonka.
There was some really funny parts. There was some really sweet parts. It was a great movie.
Wow. I got no frame of reference, but go check that out too, apparently.
The Wonder Emporium and A Star Is Born.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I give a big thumbs up for that. A Star Is Born.
Sale, nice.
I was surrounded. We went during...
we went sit around knit while we watch these movies.
Yeah, you joke, but the whole audience when we were in the MJR was just a bunch of old white people. That's
not really a surprise.
Yeah, it was. I'm telling you, man, Lady Gaga is a talented chick. She needs to drop all the shtick and just show her talent because man, super good.
So you're saying she has a future in acting?
Without a doubt. I mean, it was that good. Like, she was super believable. Wow. I love a movie where like you don't like. That's my issue with like old school cinema. I felt like when they did like these older movies, when you go back and watch like these revered movies, it feels like you're watching a play, like someone's acting.
Right.
Whereas modern movies, when they're good, it's like you're watching someone's life just happen in front of you. And that's just amazing. When you can just sit there and just enjoy like someone's, venture for 2 hours and change. It's just, it's so good.
There is a danger in that. And the danger in that is that when you do a role like that and you do it really good and you do it so good that that's all people identify you with.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think Lady Gaga is one of the most talented people we have in this country at this point, and
really?
There's no doubt.
She's an American Horror Story. I haven't seen her, but Michelle said she was good in it.
Yeah, that movie's great.
So there you go, Stars Born, Mr. Wonderful's Emporium, or whatever.
Yeah, check that out. I would check it out on
join
TNT.
Us next week for our knit club while we watch these movies. So, anyways, let's go back. Gold Rush is back. Is that true?
Yeah, so I talked about before. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of this. These guys, go ahead. Tony's just got the sweats now from that tequila.
Yeah, it's burning and I'm sweating.
We're such lightweights. We might be knitting. So basically, this is a Discovery show. It's season 8 or 9.
9, you got to see.
Season 9. I talked about before where they were making a gold mining show where he was going to give away real gold. Well, that was a guy named Todd Hoffman. They actually got him. He's off the show now. Like, his crew's gone. And basically, this new one follows a guy who's splintered off from the real young kid. He reminds us of me of Joe a ton. And maybe that's why I love it. I don't know. R.I.P. Joe. And there's this guy named Parker who runs this particular crew, and he's always arguing with another older guy named Tony Beats up in the Yukon. They show you like a whole season of what it's like to just basically run these commercial mines in Alaska. And it is, you talk about fascinating stuff too. And Steve knows, I've been watching this show since the OG season 1, and it's just, they finally cut the weight by getting rid of the Hoffman crew. The Hoffman crew was terrible because you'd watch them and they'd never get any gold. What's cool about the crews they have left now, they're getting mountains of gold. It's the craziest thing to watch at the end of the show. They'll pull out like 200 ounces of gold and just put it out on the scale and stuff.
Now, Tony, so you may or may not know, the original concept was a bunch of crazy white people went up to Alaska and decided to start digging for gold with no experience.
It was kind of like, they lost their job at Farmer Jacks and Cisco, and instead of going back to school, these guys were like, we're going to go to Alaska and become miners.
If they went there and they did it and they made it work for them, God bless them.
They never made it work, Tony.
Not
That's
most
the
of
issue. They were the
apparently
biggest train
season
wreck,
9,
and it
now
took them
there's some
8
people.
seasons to go, why do we keep putting these train wrecks on when we could actually show you some compelling stuff where they're actually getting goals?
So they were hemorrhaging money for 8 years.
It was great. It's a great show. I can't recommend it enough, but it's great.
Now, last week tonight is a HBO show with John Oliver, correct?
Yeah.
What are they doing to the schedule that's driving you crazy?
So last week tonight is one of the main ways I consume news. I just love that show. Everything he says, I believe.
An HBO comedy show.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Makes sense.
Just so you know, that's how I get my news.
Well, it's not fake news. It's just comedic
But
news.
the issue is with the show is it's so good. They come back for a week, they're off for 2 weeks. They come back for a week. It's one of, and it drives me nuts. So here it is, the midterm, although the elections are happening November 6th.
Right.
I don't know who to vote for because John Oliver hasn't been on. So here's my issue. I need some knowledge, and John Oliver is on break.
Well, I don't think he would cover the Michigan.
He wouldn't. Anyway. I know, but I feel so educated when John Oliver tells me what to think. It's just so good, and it's frustrating.
It's
one
weird
of those
for a
things.
news show to take long hiatus.
Yeah, but
a comedy news show.
Yeah, and just the way he wraps up and does all of his stuff is it's a great show, and it probably takes time to develop these stories and everything. But it kills me because I got to wait weeks to finally check it out.
That can be particularly annoying.
Yeah.
So for our reviews, watch Daredevil Season 3. Avoid WWE 2K19 till the spring. Go see A Star Is Born with your woman and Mr. Wonderful's Emporium. Watch Crazy White Guys Dig for Gold in Alaska. And then John Oliver, eventually he has a new show on. We're not sure which.
Dude, come back, John Oliver. I love you.
So now we're going to recap a little bit of yesterday's college football.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Michigan did not play yesterday, so
No, they didn't.
You Wolverines can calm down. One I didn't add to the list, but they did rebound, is Michigan State beat Purdue.
Yes.
Now,
What?
Beat Purdue after Purdue just put it on Ohio State.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
That was wonderful.
So that
I felt so good after that.
so that means Purdue was kind of fluky, to be honest.
Wow.
Because I watched Michigan State against Michigan, and Michigan State had no offense, but they beat Purdue
Now,
somehow.
you're kind of wrapping down Big Ten stuff. So what's crazy to me is, so Wisconsin just lost.
They
So
lost.
the Big Ten West, the current top seed in the Big Ten West is Northwestern,
And Notre Dame's got to play them next week.
which is great.
Northwestern is a scary team to play. You know what I mean?
But it's just
They
crazy.
They can be very surprising.
But
Apparently, to Wisconsin, they were.
yeah,
Exactly.
but it just
And
goes to
almost
show you
Michigan.
how fluky and stupid the Big Ten is.
Yeah,
so like
they're very up
your
and down.
East is decent and got with the Michigan teams and Ohio State and Penn State. Now Penn State had a bit of a scare too, right?
They won. They won
barely over
30
Iowa.
to 24.
Yeah, real
Iowa
ugly.
intercepted them late, and it was close.
Wow.
Yeah,
But Penn State pulled away, luckily, just at the
So,
end.
and I talked about it last week, Michigan, this is your year. So if you're going to do something, I don't want to hear anything from you Wolverine fans. If they don't get it done this year, you all need to shut up.
Yeah,
all right?
that is true.
It is ripe for you when you're going to be playing Northwestern in the championship game
They
if you beat Ohio
They
State.
should take that game. Yes.
Yeah.
But you got to watch out for Northwestern. You can't underestimate that
I'm
team.
worried about the Notre Dame game next week.
They look great against Navy.
Oh, my God. The one thing about Notre Dame went in.
22. Wow.
Yeah, they felt it wasn't even that close. I mean, Notre Dame.
They put the cruise control.
Yeah,
at the
they
end.
barely punted. It was like 4-play score. And I love the announcers trying to make it close. Well, this Navy offense.
You never
You never count them out.
Discipline.
I know they were trying to sell the game, but come on, it was over
Now,
before it
This
started.
Navy offense is non-existent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they should have said, but they were trying to pump them up. And then they went into the history of Navy versus Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It's like, let it go.
When that happens, they have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, exactly what happened.
The big one was Jimbo went down to Mississippi State.
Nobody cares about Jimbo, but
Damn,
Texas A&M lost.
I want to love you, Texas A&M.
Your boy Jimbo Fisher lost. Now, Florida, that game was on CBS. Florida and Georgia went back and forth for a while.
It was close. The first half was really compelling,
Fourth
and then the
quarter,
second half.
Georgia pulled away and it was over. Now, the big upset of the day was number 6 Texas lost to Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's coach still got the best mullet in the business.
Yeah, it's thick, boy. He looks like Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon 1.
Mel Gibson with maybe cancer.
Yeah.
Mountain Dew is the best substance on earth.
Yeah, what happened?
So, yeah, that was a big upset because a lot of people were getting on that Texas bandwagon.
Yeah, so Texas is done. They're out. I don't know if you saw the press conference afterwards. Funny thing, the guy from Oklahoma State, the coach, he's somewhat crazy. Yeah. And they're asked, what about all the bad things that have been said about your quarterback all week? He goes, where? Who's been saying something? They said on Twitter. He goes, Twitter is for homeless people and people without jobs and a keyboard. Wow. I was like, wow. So he always has some good quotes. He didn't say homeless, just jobless people, unemployed people in their basement with a keyboard.
Yeah.
Way to have your priorities in order.
So there you go, a little fast college recap.
Now, before you get away, I believe we have a big SEC game coming up next week.
Alabama and LSU.
Yeah, that's the big game.
That's going to be a good
I think it's in New Orleans.
In Baton Rouge?
Yeah, I think it is. Don't quote me on that.
Brian's
going to be correcting us shortly.
Everybody's going to want to see that game.
He listens exclusively to our college thing. We always screw up. You should read the comments. He's always busting our balls. You dumbasses, who's Vanderbilt they lost to.
Whatever. He's another one who's on Twitter in a basement.
Yeah, so Brian, if you hear this, please correct us on everything because I don't know off the top of my head. So there you go. Now, Tony, this next section, this is called Rapid Fire. And what we do, it's new movies, Blu-rays. We added some streaming, some music. And what you do is I'll mention what the movie is, and you say, yes, you want to see it. No, I don't give a damn. Maybe. Or what. Like you have no idea what it is. So this is rapid fire.
What is what the hell, basically?
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell that is.
So the first one coming out this week, and I look forward to it, is Bohemian Rhapsody, the story of Queen. It is a big yes for me. What do you think, Tony?
I'll take pass for 200, Alex.
No, not a Queen fan.
Oh, I think it looks.
You know what? I like Queen. I like their music. I'm not interested in their backstory. I'm sorry.
I think Rami Malek looks awesome, and it's a big yes. That's a big yes from me.
Now, this next one is another comedy by Tiffany Haddish, who is becoming the female version of Kevin Hart. She's in just about anything they give her. I'm going to say no.
What is the name of it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nobody's Fool.
I haven't seen a trailer for it.
I don't even know what it is.
It's a random comedy coming out next week with her. She has a female friend in it. Female buddy comedy. No.
Again, no for 200 hours.
Wow. I'm going to say what? Because I don't even know what it is. I don't know what the hell that is.
I mean, I've seen Tiffany Haddish in Girls Trip.
She was good in that.
But the thing I really hate about Hollywood is with the loud black woman actor.
Wow, yeah,
I can't say that.
The last thing a black man wants to put up with nowadays is a loud black woman. I'm sorry.
Wow.
We got that on camera. There was some black guys, right? It wasn't us.
We have enough problems as it is. We don't need anyone adding to it.
Do you agree with me? She's kind of like the female Kevin Hart, that she's taking every role that comes her way.
You know what? If she can get out there and make her money, like I said before, have at do your thing, but I'm not interested. Not that.
Wow.
But she was good in Girls Trip.
She was good in Girls Trip.
That was her breakout role. That was like her hangover.
It was, my wife loved it. Hi, Shirley.
No. She's pissed at you right now.
Yeah, no.
I don't care. We're not going to see it.
Now, this next one coming out looks like Disney spent a lot of money on it. I see ads for it all the time. The Nutcracker of the Four Realms, no. What do you think, Tony?
You believe it or not, this looks kind of interesting to me.
It's along with the Mr. Megorium's Emporium over here. We see what Tony likes.
That's my speed. I'm looking at it. I'm like, this could be a good movie. I'd probably wait to see something like this till around Thanksgiving, Christmas. I probably won't go see it.
You won't go see it.
I'm a no. That looks terrible.
I mean, it seems like
I thought the Nutcracker was like a thing that the Rockettes did. I didn't know.
But they look like they made it into Narnia meets the Nutcracker.
From what I've seen, it reminds me of the old movie March of the Wooden Soldiers or something like that I saw back in the day.
It was that 1967?
Something like that. It was a very old movie, people. I know I'm telling my age. But old movie, yes.
New on Blu-ray this week. Charles, you already seen it. I haven't. Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I'm a big yes. I want to see it.
That's a big disappointment. I'm sorry.
Tony, what do you think?
You know what? I like Teen Titans. I don't like Teen Titans Go.
Oh, so no for Tony. And
I liked Teen Titans when it first came out, when it was like the action flick. but Teen Titans Go is kind of gotten to the goofiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the best part.
It's
not superheroes.
I guess I'm a big superhero fan.
I agree with him on that. But
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go is awesome. Tony is completely wrong. This movie sucks, though. It's a no.
I have been wrong many times. Ask my wife.
Yeah, well, all our wives will tell us we've been wrong. The next one, The Spy Who Dumped Me, with the girl from the 70s
Mila
show.
Kunis?
Yeah, Mila
yeah,
Kunis.
and then the old girl from Saturday Night Live.
I will rent it, so I say yes. Tony, what do you think?
So who's the other co-actor besides Mila Kunis?
This is the girl from Saturday Night Live
the
that's
blonde girl.
that everyone loves.
McKinley.
Yeah, Laura
She was in
McKinney or
Ghostbusters.
something like that. Yeah,
I'll put that as a maybe.
I'm a maybe as well. I'd check it on HBO or something.
Yeah, my wife's gonna be like, "No, you're not going to see this."
The next one is, I haven't even seen a preview for it, but I know it came out back in February, since it is Halloween. The Slender Man. It's a horror movie. No for me.
Ooh, Slender Man. I have a set of twin girls, Sierra and Kira. They love horror movies. This is a possible for me.
Oh man,
It's just because my girls love horror movies. I'll take them to see Slender Man.
I'm a what? I don't even know what the hell it is. I don't know what we're talking about.
It's coming to Blu-ray, so you don't have to.
Oh, there you go. Take them to Family Video.
It was a bad horror movie that came out last spring.
Yeah.
Cool.
This one, I don't
Blu-ray
even know
even
what
better.
this is. I just know the two people in it. The Darkest Minds, I think it's a drama. It's got Mandy Moore and the girl from the Game of Thrones, the tall one, Gwendolyn Christie.
Gwendolyn
or whatever her name is.
Christie.
I'm going to say no, because I don't even know what it is. So there you go.
I'm going to give it a what, because I don't know about it.
Yeah, I am with Tony on this one. What? Where did you find this?
Man, some of these Blu-ray releases, a lot of them are like anniversary releases of old movies, so it's like whatever. So now some new music coming out this week for Tony the DJ.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you don't listen to any of this. But anyways, first one is Tenacious D, Post-Apocalypto with Jack Black. No, I like Jack Black. This
You're
music
wrong.
is terrible.
Tenacious D's hilarious.
You know what? I would check out Tenacious D if I were you. You're slipping on
Hilarious.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that guy's hilarious and he's talented. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Jack Black.
Wow, didn't expect that response.
So are you a yes?
I am a yes. I'll check that out. Definitely. Post-apocalypto people.
Tenacious D is awesome. Kyle Gass, who is with Jack
Yes.
Black and Tenacious D, is awesome. Steve is completely wrong. It's a yes.
Okay. Wow, I did not expect those results. I did from you, though.
Surprise, surprise.
Now, my daughter would like this one. Ashley Tisdale.
Is she country?
She's
I
pop,
think she's
Pop
pop,
country?
Yeah.
Tweeny.
She's pop.
Voices in my head. I hated her on Disney Channel. I'm not
Yeah,
going to listen to
she's-
it. No.
She's one of those actors turned singers.
Yes.
Yeah. And me, I'm gonna pass. It's past. That's not for me. No.
Mine's a what? I don't know what she is. I don't know anything about this.
This is a new alternative band. I wasn't too sure to put this on here, but I don't. Empress of, and the name of the CD is Us. What?
What did you do?
It's a alternative
I don't even
band.
know
They're
what
pretty
that
popular,
is.
I guess.
It's probably like Wiggs is at home going, man, they're great.
No, I don't even think.
Well, people, I have to give this a little John.
What? Yeah.
That's a big what for me. I don't know what that is.
And this one's really funny. This is up there with the Shatner music.
Okay.
Jeff Goldblum, the Capitol Studio Sessions.
Wait. Jeff Goldblum is singing now?
Yes, it's going to be terrible.
What
A
in the-
big no from me. What about you, Tony?
You know what? Here's the thing. Back when Queen Latifah was doing her hip hop, she segued into doing popular music as.
I'm really reaching on this.
How are you equating Jeff Goldblum to Queen Law
So
right
here's
now?
the thing. She's a really good singer, and nobody really knew it until she did that particular album.
UNITY. Come on, that's an awesome rap, dude.
He's talking about singing, not rapping.
But Jeff Goldblum, I'll take pass for Jeff.
I'm a no on Jeff Goldblum.
But you said yes on
But the Shatner thing would be funny for Christmas. Come on.
Yeah, funny. That'd be funny as hell.
Okay, now, just because we didn't have a lot of releases, we went to streaming. The first one up, the first part was very popular. Making of a Murderer, Part 2. It's about a murder. A guy was arrested for murder, I think in Wisconsin.
Wrongly or something. They had to
something
go
like that.
back.
A lot of people watch it. I didn't watch the first
It
part.
was insanely popular.
I'm a no on that. Tony?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can see this type of thing on the southwest side of Detroit every day. I'm a pass on this.
Yeah. I'm a no. I didn't watch the first one. I couldn't get into it. I don't get into those, like,
Yeah,
you know.
I didn't. It was huge.
First 48 and all that.
Everyone was talking about it, the first part. Adam Sandler, 100% fresh. This is him going back to stand-up and doing his funny little songs and his whoop-de-doo, noises. No, I watched the first 20 minutes already. I'll be honest. It's not good.
Dude,
he's lost it.
I'm a big Adam Sandler fan. I would actually pay to see that.
Wow.
Well, all you got to do is get Netflix for $12.
I watched Grown Ups 2. That movie had me crying, laughing. It was so funny. I'm sorry.
You brought this guy?
The part where they had
good DJ.
When he had the guy on the bus and he was on his face and he hit the brakes and he slid to the back, I was crying, laughing. That movie was so funny.
I don't know why Farmer Jacks closed. And so is this the end of what he's required to do for Netflix?
No, he's signing a life contract.
Okay, well, I'm a no. Adam Sandler used to be funny. He's lost me.
You know what? I can't blame you for your decision, but I guess I'm just a big Adam Sandler fan.
You really are. You're the last one.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I tried watching The Week of Us. That was the one where him and Chris Rock were two parents.
I've seen that. Yeah.
It was not funny.
I didn't like that either. It was kind of like watching Spanglish.
Yeah. So Castlevania on Netflix is an animated show. It's only 4 or 5 episodes. I'm a big animation dude, and Castlevania is obviously based.
Has it got a big manga anime look?
Yeah, it looks very anime, and it's very adult based. A lot of blood. Yes, I'll be watching this. Tony.
So you have seen it. So you would
I've
recommend
seen the first
this?
season. This is the second season.
So
I've seen the first season. Yes, I would recommend.
So you were recommending. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I've seen it on Netflix. I've seen the title. I haven't checked it out. But guess what? Off your recognition, I'm going to be streaming Castlevania season 2 tonight.
Ooh. Well, watch the first season first. You won't be lost.
All right.
And I'm a no. Because I don't want to watch. They got a bunch of like anime manga stuff on Netflix lately.
Yeah. It's their big push. And finally, from the blue collar tour himself, Ron White. If you quit listening, I'll shut up. It's just basically a 1 hour stand up. I watch almost everybody stand up, so it's a yes. I'll be watching it.
Same here. I've seen Ron White stand up before. I thought he was hilarious. I'll check that out as well.
I'm a no because I don't like hillbilly blue collar. No,
that's what I love. Hillbilly.
No,
but he's not really hillbilly though.
I don't care. I'm
he's
a
drinking
no.
Scotch and
I got a big fat no. I'd rather watch Adam Sandler.
Oh, man. You and Tony, the only two guys. So there we go. There's our rapid fire.
Adam's a comedy god. No, I'm kidding.
He was in 1994.
That he was.
Yeah, he's lost it since then. Okay, so now we're going to go on to some reviews. Now, the first review, there's a thing called EA Access. Tony, do you have a console right now or no?
Let's see. In my house, I have an Xbox One.
Oh, okay.
PS4, PS3.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And a garage full of old school arcades.
Yeah, well.
So
and a partridge in a pear tree.
So safe to say you know video games. EA Access is a you pay $30 for the year, which is a good deal, and you get access to their vault, which has about 20, 30 games in it.
But now let me ask you, when you refer to the vault, I think of the Disney vault. Is it a bunch of old crap?
Yes, that's the problem. Now, if they charge any more than $30 per year, I'd tell them get bent. But if there's a lot of old sports games you're dying to play, that's the only bummer about the service. So I thought maybe the new sports games would be in it, like Madden 19 and Hockey 19 and NBA Live. That's not the case. It's Madden 18, 17, and 16, and so on and so on. For all.
I mean, it's $3. It's not much.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money. The highlights that were on there that I've played, if you're a big Battlefield guy, all the Battlefields, 1943, all of
I like 2.
Yeah, well, there's about 6 of them on this service.
Okay,
you could pick from the new, even from Battlefield 1 from last year. So if you're a huge Battlefield person, it's a great deal. If you like old sports games, they got the old soccer FIFA on there too. Okay. If you want to play it. But the gems I like, if you haven't played Mass Effect, they're on there. I have,
but you could wait and get them on like a Steam sale for like a nickel.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Well, I'm just saying there are some benefits. If you're into this stuff. But the one gem they have, and I think they should promote it more, they have the Fight Night, the last one that came out. Now, funny thing about me, I'm a casual boxing fan, but I love boxing video games. Always have, all the way back to Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing. I always like, so that's the only place you can get that game still. Is that
you're going to pay $30 a year? For an old fight night.
Well, they got the old Plants vs. Zombies is on there. A lot of old independent.
That's free.
Ooh, Plants and Zombies.
Yeah, it's an old game. Unravel, stuff like that. And the other deal about it is if you buy a lot of digital games, like the new Battlefield 5 that's coming out, if you have this service, you get a 5% discount, and you get the game 3 or 4 days before it's released. So, I mean, it's an okay service if you're a diehard EA person.
It's only $30.
Yeah, it's $30. I did it for the year.
That's one trip to Taco Bell.
Or you can just get it for the month for $5. Play the old games you like and then cancel it.
Okay.
So it's okay. I wouldn't.
You go a nickel more than $30 annually, and I'm out.
You go 2 cents. Even then, I'm not going to be renewing it. I'll play a handful of games I wanted to play on there, and then I'll probably just never have it again. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to try the Xbox Game Pass and let people know how that is on here as well. But that costs a lot more than the EA. I went with the EA Access first to see what it was like. So there you go. If you like old sports games,
$30 isn't bad.
Yeah, it's not
$30 isn't bad at all.
Yeah, and say you're someone like our dad who got an Xbox and he's way behind the times anyways. You can give him Madden 17, he wouldn't even know.
So if you have geriatric people in your life,
my dad would be like, "Why is Steve Young the quarterback of the Niners right now?
Move, damn it, move!"
So there you go. EA Access, if you're a diehard sports fan, maybe, but everybody else. The UFC games are on there too, if you ever wanted to take a look at those.
Mm-hmm. Too complex.
But the ones I love, Fight Night is on there. That's all that counts. So Laser Tag, is that right?
It's the name of this thing is called Laser X, and basically it's modern laser tag that we bought for my daughter and her friends and stuff like that. But I want to talk about it today because it's not like how you remember like old school laser tag when we were younger and all that kind of stuff. This crap really works and works really well, like over distances and stuff like that. So for $50, you get 2 guns that are tethered to chess pieces that basically keep your health and your score.
Would the chess piece fit on me?
We could probably put it around your neck, but
I could just strap it to my head.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to go all headshot. So for $50, you get like this modern laser tag, and it works over really long distances.
So you've already bought this?
Yeah, we have. We got 4 guns and stuff like that. It's a fun time to play.
So Tony could run to the end of the block, and I could be here by your house.
The end of the block's a little much, I'd say. How far you can get a couple houses, like 3-4 houses in, and it still works really well.
The old laser tag is like from here to the door.
It's pretty good stuff, and that's.
Does it need to be dark out?
No, not at all. And the nice part too is like you can do like certain games where you basically on the controllers you assign yourself a team. One's red, one's blue, and you can tell by the controller types. And then they don't work against each other. And so you, with the 4 guns, you could have like 2 and 2, or you can actually do it where everyone's rogue, where they'll bounce between red and blue and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of cool game types that are involved in it and stuff like that. So my daughter's 6 and she loves it. Like it works really good.
Oh, let me tell you, back when my kids were young, I have like 5 kids.
Jeez.
And yes.
How do you have time for arcade games?
Well, my kids are like 17 and up.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
But when they were little, I bought like a couple of these laser tag games. And what we did was one night we sat up in the house and we had teams. Like so it was me and my wife and my 5 kids. So it was like the girls against the boys. We had a ball.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm telling you.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, and it works. And this newer one, the big thing is about this one, the one I want to talk about, because it works so well. Like, you ever have, there's like a level of jank, just like some laser tag stuff. Like, these, they count down your health after X amount of shots, it goes down.
That's nice.
And they also offer like a lot of like, if you're like a solo kid or whatever, they're like these like towers you could play against where you put them in a room and they'll shoot at you, but then you shoot against like a tower, like a capture the flag type thing. And
okay, yeah.
it's a really cool system, and that's that Laser X system, and I just wanted to talk about how much I like it.
Well, for $50, that's a good price.
Yeah, it's 2 guns.
I bet you on Black Friday you can probably get it for about half the price.
Yeah, they go on sale all the time. I think we picked them up at Target and stuff like that. And all you do is slam a couple batteries in them, and they're pretty good.
Oh, Steve, I forgot to tell you. Come January, I'll be a granddad.
Yes, man.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah,
she having a boy or a girl? I don't know.
She's having a girl. My son and his
wife. Or girlfriend?
His girlfriend, but we'll talk about that later.
Now, if he does get married, are you going to DJ at the wedding for free?
Definitely.
But I got to pause this for the father-daughter dance.
Yeah.
If you're listening, if you guys decide to get married, you already know Daddy's got you.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. Congratulations again.
So there you go, laser tag for your spunky kids this Christmas, or EA access for us old sports fans. Now we're going to look a little bit at some NFL. We're not going to go too deep, but we will say about today's action. Like I said, it's about 6:30, 7 o'clock right now.
We don't know the final of the Green Bay LA game. It was 10-0 when we.
Well, we will say the Lions choked again.
Yeah,
when that team,
I can't believe that they.
You can't. You really can't believe it.
Because they've
totally
been the last 2 games they've been playing well, especially with the carry on.
You sound like a Lions fan
I'm
right
sorry,
now.
I am. Yes, I am.
Listen, Slappy.
The thing is,
Brock Osweiler was quarterbacking the Dolphins.
It's so disappointing when you see such promise over the first over those 2 games before. Mm-hmm. And the performance that they put on today, Well,
all week on the radio, because of the win against Miami on the road, they beat Green Bay before the bye. They also beat New England, and they got that new Snacks Harrison. Yeah, he's a big guy. He did work.
He did do pretty good today.
He did work pretty good. Everyone on the radio this week, they're going to be 10-6. They're going to dominate. And then in classic Lions fashion, they walked out and dropped a big turd in the middle of Ford Field. How many times have they done it? I mean, that's what they do. So who do they play next week? Whoever they play next week, if it's a really good team, I guarantee the Lions win. I guarantee it. If they play Cleveland next week, they'll lose to Cleveland. They lose to who they're not supposed to lose to. They've been doing it for 50 years. Anyways, there you go. There's your Lions. 28-14 was the end of that game.
Yeah, and then around
Seattle's
the league,
been struggling all year, and all of a sudden they look great.
I just can't talk about the Lions. Around the league, Jameis Winston got benched at Tampa for 4 picks.
And Fitzmagic came back.
Yeah, Fitzmagic came back and tied the game.
Really?
Went for 2. Yeah, 34-34, and since he kicked a last-minute field goal to win.
Yeah, they got there alive, because if Fitzmagic had more time,
he'd
have been eating that W.
So that was a big thing. It looked like Carolina won.
Yes.
Cam Newton comes through again.
Yeah,
he does. Thursday had a turd sandwich of a game. Miami and Houston.
Houston won, correct?
Houston rolled them.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Now, what do we got as far as tonight?
So tonight, New Orleans at Minnesota. I like Minnesota in this one. Tony, who do you like in this one?
In this one, I'm going to have to go with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints.
Not a bad pick. It's a 50-50 game.
No, it's Minnesota.
Minnesota?
You think so?
Yeah.
What's your deciding factor?
It's Minnesota's defense. I mean, any other year, but you know what I mean? And then Kirk Cousins, surprisingly enough, is pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
And
what are they at now? What, 4-1 or something like that?
4-1-1.
Yeah, there's something.
They have a tie against Green Bay.
Yeah, they're at the top of the division right now. They're doing pretty good. They really.
I just never believe in New Orleans, especially outside of their own dome.
Well,
I just don't like them.
That's the problem I have with Minnesota. When they have really good years like this, they'll have a good year all up until the end of the year, and then they start tanking.
Yeah. Who you got for Monday night? Who's Monday night, Steve?
Now, Monday night's not going to be that good of a watch. New England versus Buffalo.
That'll be 72-3.
Yes. Do we have to go around the room on this one? Is anyone taking Buffalo?
Yeah, is anyone going out on a limb?
No one's taking Buffalo.
I saw a stat that Brady versus Buffalo's 25-3.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's the best any quarterback against one team.
So tonight's game will be good. Monday night game, I might want to watch Raw or something else. You might want to go out and see a Star is Born.
Yeah,
Monday night.
I recommend it.
Head coach is like, yeah, that's a W.
Yeah, they marked a W on that one. Wow. So there you go, a little bit of NFL recap for you. Now we're going to go into some news. Tony, you said you're a retro gamer, right?
That is correct.
Now, do you remember Intellivision from when we were kids?
I do remember Intellivision. I remember Intellivision because when I first picked it up, looked at an Intellivision controller, it had a number pad on it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it had a paddle on it. I was like, I don't know what the hell to do with this.
Now, I don't want to interrupt, but am I getting ColecoVision and Intellivision confused? Are they very similar products?
I think
they're pretty similar.
Because didn't one of them have where you change the number pad, you put a specific...
I think that was Intellivision.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
It might be the same thing. I'm not sure.
We didn't have Intellivision growing up. We were an Atari household.
We had Atari
As your 7X shirt shows us. You're an Atari house.
Okay, people, just to let you know, I absolutely hated Atari because the graphics were horrible.
Well, you were older to remember that.
Yeah,
we were
horrible compared to. I had a friend of mine, guy by the name
really count graphics on any of the systems?
Guy by the name of Dwayne Williams. He lived right next door to me, and he had a Atari 2600. And when we first found out he had it, we was like, "Oh, we gotta play it," and we get over there and play it, and it's like.
It's no better. Yeah. But it had that fine wood grain on it, though.
Dude, I love Pitfall and River Raid. I'm sorry.
Pitfall was a great game.
But
when they had the arcade clones, like the Miss Pac-Man and stuff like that, they did a horrible job. Yeah, they really did. I'm sorry.
So in 2020, Intellivision's coming back. Now, the controller still looks like what you mentioned. It has the wheel, but at the top of it, instead of all the buttons, it's going to be a touch screen. And then on the side, it's going to have 2 buttons.
So is this going to be a retro console?
I'm sorry, the paddle.
Is it going to be playing old games? What is it doing?
It's for $150 to $180. They haven't nailed the price tag.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I described the controller to you. It's going to come with 2 controllers, and allegedly 20 classic games are going to be on the system.
Revamped classic games, or literally OG ports?
They're going to be OG ports with new modes. So there's going to be online.
So you could play
online.
Okay.
Now the big draw for this system,
seems
I guess,
way expensive. I'm with Tony on this one.
Yeah. But all the
really
games are going to be priced from $5 to $10. That's it. No game's going to be priced more than that.
Yeah, but it's an ancient game you can get for a nickel on eBay. I don't understand.
Why would new games?
Why would I pay $140 for that when I can go back and get the old one for like $5-10 bucks?
Yeah,
like that?
I mean,
well, this one's going to have
they're going to be developing new games.
They're going to be developing new games for it. And the old games are going to get graphical upgrades.
So it sounds like an Android box that's running.
It does.
Raspberry Pi, something like that.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Now, it's funny. That comes out in 2020. 2019, there's a new Atari system.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've heard of the Atari one. The Atari one initially got bumped on Kickstarter, I believe.
Yeah. So there you go. The old school 80s video game battle is going to renew.
What happened
the real battle of this one is which one tanks first.
I'm going to guess the Intellivision, because the Intellivision install base is much smaller than the Atari.
And
more people.
If you look at the news, it said the release is 2020.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I doubt if the thirst is going to be there by then.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a crazy one.
Their pitch is family friendly and cheap games. Is what that's their niche of the market. They said.
I don't know,
because I think the Switch pretty much has all the family friendly stuff right now.
Dude, I'd rather get a Switch.
Yeah, well, everyone would. So it'd be interesting to see how fast this tanks. You know who's behind it? I don't know if you remember this name, Tommy Tellerico. Remember him?
Yes, I know Tommy Tellerico from G4 back in the day.
He's the CEO of this company that's bringing this back.
I don't know, man.
The TV network G4.
Yeah, he was a big guy on the TV network.
Yeah, he had dark hair. He was
on all the shows. They shoehorned him into a bunch of stuff.
Really?
He did that Canadian review show with the short-haired dude all the time. Yeah, I don't know, but I just think that there's too much saturation on the retro gaming.
Right.
I don't know how much of a market there is.
I'm seeing they did the Nintendo. They're talking about doing Super Nintendo. I saw the Sega.
They did Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
They did do Super.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
They got a PlayStation one this Christmas
and
a PlayStation Mini.
No.
But this is, and you and I talked about this before. I'm a big Mario guy. And how many times can I buy the same game? I just don't know.
3,000 times.
It's crazy to me, and that's why I push back. Like, I'll still buy any of the new stuff that I can, the 2D platforming stuff. But
3,000 times later.
Yeah, it's SpongeBob style. So now this next beer kind of makes sense. You're sitting in a bar. You're eating peanuts. Let's just put the peanuts in the beer.
Yeah, so I caught this up. So Mr. Planners is coming out with an IPA.
Cool.
So I don't know how they worked with
salty. Do you want to drink that much salt, though?
Yeah, so Noon Whistle Brewing is coming out with this. Apparently there's a big thing. So in this same article that was on this Thrillist thing that we'll link to in the website, they basically are saying that Mr. Planners is coming out with an IPA nut beer. Then there's a Dunkin' Donuts coffee milk stout that's coming out.
That sounds.
And then there's an IHOP beer too. That's the new thing hitting up these like
Flavored
microbrews is like getting attached to like. I'm out because an IPA is disgusting, and I'm sure there's a Wigington listening to this going like, "You're wrong, Gerald." No, IPAs are overhopped and gross.
I got buddies that will argue you down about an IPA. I got people that love IPAs.
I don't like
They're wrong.
I tell you what,
it tastes like salad.
I tell you what though, I am really down with the Michigan with all the brewing going on as far as microbrewing is concerned. I think it's great. I think that there should be more of it. Huh? I'm just saying that because I love drinking beer. That's
So do you have to derail Steve's conversation? Tell me about what you think is like a good what's like on the Tony list of like what you really enjoy drinking. And if you tell me Heineken, I'm going to kick you out of the house.
Believe it or not, there's a brewery in Detroit. It's called Atwater Brewery.
Very popular.
What I really liked when I tasted it, and I didn't think I was going to like it. They have a vanilla Java porter.
Yep, it's really good.
Oh my God, it's so
really
good.
You've had it too?
Yes, it's really good. Yeah. It has way more coffee to it than usual.
Yes.
Because like a lot of these like coffee milk stouts and stuff like that, they say that, but they don't really have it.
Yes.
That Atwater one's really good.
Oh, I love.
There's a dirty blonde too that's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Is that just someone's wife? Or?
Yeah, basically. But anyway, to derail, the Planters IPA, look for it. I'm sure it'll make its way to like your local liquor store. If we can find Proper 12 by BV, we can find Planters IPA.
I'll be very interested to at least try it. You know,
give it a shot.
And I just hope I don't throw up trying
it. I don't know. It might be too salty. That's the only thing I can think of if it's too salty. So, Tony, do you watch the show Blackish on ABC?
What are you trying to say, Steve?
Damn it.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'll say this. I watch Blackish. It's one of the few TV shows that I do watch. I love Blackish.
Did you like the divorce stuff? I didn't like the divorce stuff.
You know, it was what it was. You know, I didn't really follow it when it happened. You know, but you know, I didn't too much care for the divorce part.
But I tell you, you're gonna hate A Star Is Born. You're gonna hate the Blackish divorce stuff. I don't care.
I won't hate A Star Is Born because I'll go in knowing it's a drama and I'm fine with the drama. When I turn on Blackish to laugh and they're getting divorced, that's one of the funny.
Best sitcoms on television.
Yes,
period.
Yes. I tell you what, though, there was a episode of Blackish that I watched, and it was with the grandmother. She was teaching the kids how to play spades because she wanted to beat the older people. And
she needed partners. Yeah.
So they get there and they're beating these old people, and the little boy is like, "Well, don't worry about losing because you probably won't remember it tomorrow." I'm like, oh my God!
I mean, they got funny segments. I just hated the divorce stuff. But anyway, that's a great insight. And Will and Grace, I don't watch it all. So. But what happened on these shows?
Yeah, so I noticed this past week, right? So the Google Pixel 3 came out, apparently. I don't follow. I have a cell phone. I have a better cell phone than Steve, but so does half of America.
Hey, just because I got to put a quarter in mine.
I have one of the cheapest phones ever.
Yeah, there we go. So
cheap phones.
The LG Tribute Dynasty.
Okay, but Steve has like a Daewoo phone. It's a whole other conversation.
My phone bill's only $50 a month for 3 phones.
Yeah, so he's the cheapest, worst phones. Anyway, in the middle of the show, in the middle of Blackish,
here it comes.
There was a commercial inside the TV show. We've seen like the product placement in movies and stuff like that. Like we've seen the James Bond movie with the Sony logo on everything. Mm-hmm. You know, this is the first time, like in the middle of the episode of Blackish, Diane is trying to send a text to a boy she was interested in. They literally had a commercial for like picking the best photo off of her Google Pixel in the middle of the episode.
Really?
It drove me nuts. I mean, everyone's got bills to pay, but this is crazy.
They did the same thing on another show?
Yeah, so Will and Grace had a Google Pixel thing where all of a sudden they wanted to take a wide-angle picture of him and his grandson in the middle of the episode again. And I'm like, what is happening?
Well, Google paid a lot of money.
Yeah, that's Google paying out a lot of money for product placement.
Yeah. And I get that, but like, you know, it's one thing to see a logo or something, but like to write in a portion of a show just seemed really egregious.
All
I've
they had
never
to do is
seen
stop
that.
and look at the camera too. Pixel 3.
Yeah, it was like, wow, you know, like
at a phone store near you.
Yeah, it was really off-putting to me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd never seen that until just this past week, and I just one of the things I had to draw attention to. We're going to be getting, and they've talked about like those location-based ads and how you're going to walk past billboards that are going to know who Tony G is and who Steve is as you walk past, and they're going to be targeted advertising.
Right.
I was just watching a funny episode of Blackish, and all of a sudden I was like, bam, over the head, here's a Pixel ad.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Well, that's the world we live in nowadays.
Yeah, everything's gotta be,
everything is being product driven nowadays. You know.
So I'm going to end on this last rant here.
Here
This one just hit me this morning. All right, let's think back, Tony. Let's think back to the 90s, right? We're 95, 96.
95.
Yeah, you're watching football or even wrestling. And we always thought, wouldn't it be awesome to have a channel that has everything football on it 24/7? You could see the combine. You could see all these games. You could see NFL films. And then flash forward to later, we got that, the NFL Network. And come to find out, watching the combine is boring as ass.
Yes.
But here's my complaint. So I saw on SportsCenter this morning, it's about 10 a.m., the score for the Jacksonville /
the London game,
the London
Philly game.
Yeah.
Philly won.
Philly and Jacksonville. And I thought, oh, that's on. Let me find it. I turn on Fox, not on there. It's ABC, NBC, CBS, not on there. ESPN, not on there. The last thing that pops in my head was, oh, maybe it's on the NFL Network. So it got me to thinking, and it was. By the way, they put 4 guys in the booth for that game. That's ridiculous. Why does the NFL Network suck so bad? That is my question. Should they not have...
There's a lot of people that would argue up and down about this.
No, there's nothing to argue. That station sucks.
I'm not one of them, but there are people who are adamant about the NFL Network.
Every Sunday, it should be like Sunday Ticket on the NFL Network. You should be able to tune in the NFL Network, pick your game, and watch it. You can't do that.
They got bills to pay.
Okay, so you can't do that. So then, every Sunday, you should be able to go to the NFL Network and turn on the Red Zone channel inside the station, and it shows you scores of each game. Doesn't do that either. So you can't even do that. Or how about if you had a Fox game and a CBS game, you should have a third game on the NFL Network for you to choose from. Guess what? Can't do that either. But the NFL Network is effing useless.
They want to monetize everything.
All the NFL Network is a retirement home for former players.
Wow.
It's useless. Yeah. It's the most useless thing.
I like a football life when it's on, though. Be honest. You like a football life.
Every once in a blue moon, they'll have a good program on there. But that's one in months of programming.
Yeah, I don't turn it on too often.
It's just a job for Rich Eisen and 32 fucking retirees on the NFL. But that's my rant about the NFL. It's just like wrestling, when we always used to say, would it be awesome if every league was one league in wrestling? And then it happened when the WWE bought them all out. Now it all sucks. Yeah. So, the
grass isn't always greener on the other side.
NFL Network should be way better. If they charged $15 a month for like HBO, and they were going to put exclusive games on it once every Sunday, I would probably pay for it. But they don't. It's just garbage. Anyways, there's my random rant.
Yeah, the NFL Network sucks and doesn't give Steve every NFL game.
Yeah, exactly.
Shocker.
Or at least give me one game to pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what grinds Steve's gears.
Yeah, exactly, goddammit. And if you're listening to NFL Network, fix your shit. So there you go. There's our last rant. I'd like to thank DJ Tony G for showing up.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, first time in about 15 years. We'll have to shorten that gap again before we hang out again.
No doubt. Now you know how to get in contact with me.
Yes, we're good. Facebook everything.
Definitely.
We get 90% of our guests from Facebook. You can catch the podcast on fatguyslittlepodcast.com. I went blank there for a minute. Apple iTunes and Google Play.
And Spotify now, too, right?
Spotify, yes, we're on there.
Nice.
Anywhere you get podcasts, you can pretty much get us. Now we can actually track it, so we know if you're listening.
You got the YouTube channel for you. And everything.
We also have the Fat Guys Little Podcast YouTube channel. We got a Facebook page. We're all out there. It's a lot of work maintaining all this crap, by the way. For something we're doing for free and fun. It sure is a lot of work.
But it is fun, though, I tell you.
Yeah, it is. So I'm your co-host Steve Markey, and always
Charles.
And we'll catch you next time.